This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 1998.
Hey, on this week's show, we're going to be looking at Jane's F-15 Eagle, Ultima Ascension, All-Star Baseball, and we're going to be visiting E3 on Akuji the Heartless, or Akuji the Wonderful, like my wonderful Marilyn.
Iguana are the guys who brought us Quarterback Club and Turok for the Nintendo 64. This year, they're bringing us All-Star Baseball 99, and the graphics are even better than those other games.
All-Star Baseball 99 is one of the most stellar products, we've ever put out here. Without a doubt, I would say it probably is the best Nintendo 64 sports game there is now.
How did you guys get this thing to this kind of polish?
We spent a good 8 months to a year doing all the graphics for the game. The stadiums, we have every stadium in the league, and they're perfect representations of the real stadiums.
How is this game going to impact Acclaim's sports franchise or upcoming future sports titles?
After Quarterback Club was finished, we decided to start with a brand new engine from scratch that was going to be our main sports engine. It was going to do everything faster and better than anything else. So what we've developed over the last year and a half is a 640 by 480 high-res 3D engine. You can see in All-Star Baseball what we've been able to achieve, and with that, we're carrying that over. We're doing a basketball game, a wrestling game, a soccer game, and as well we're doing hockey. So we've taken this engine that we've optimized for sports and applied it to 6 different sports games, and I think that that's going to help us, rule the sports world on this machine.
What are some of the gameplay features in this title that make it unique?
Most of the games is just timing. You wait, you hope you swing at the right time. Baseball's not about that. Baseball's about knowing the pitcher where he throws the ball and then being able to get your bat to that location, as well as timing. So we created a unique interface which allows you, as the batter, to try and see the ball coming out of his hand, determine where it's going to go, and then move your bat out to that location to hit the ball, as well as hit the timing.
You guys are using the Rumble Pack in this game as well. How are you guys doing that?
What we're trying to do is use it in ways that have never been used before.
Yeah.
When you're pitching, you have the ability to move a pitch icon throughout the strike zone. And when it gets to the edge of that strike zone, it starts to rumble a little bit. And as you get a little closer to the corner of the strike zone, it rumbles even more.
Very cool.
So without actually seeing the icon, the user's allowed to feel if he's on the edge of the strike zone or not as the pitcher. The N64 baseball products that are coming out against All-Star Baseball are more arcade style games. We wanted to allow a person to go in and make a player, make their own player, create him, bring him up in spring training, bring him up into a league, pull him into the season. Once you pull him onto a team out of the free agency list, and you play with this team, if you hit well with him, if you play well with him, he has a chance of making it onto the All-Star team just like anybody else. So for your ability to create this guy and actually play with him for a full season and try and get him onto the All-Star game at the All-Star break is just really cool.
How about special teams and hidden features and stuff in the game?
There's definitely hidden teams, hidden stadiums, hidden features.
Come on, just one. Come on.
No, I can't do that.
One
can't
team. Come on.
Maybe later.
When's later?
There's probably an Iguana team if you look really closely.
Okay.
I would imagine.
What position do you play on the Iguana team?
You'll just have to find it and find out. Yeah, I'm the coach. There you go.
Bad boy.
Not bad boy. I'm the water boy.
What are we going to expect from All-Star Baseball 2000?
We probably left 40% of the design ideas on the floor on this one, so you can expect all those to be put back in.
More now on the escalating police chase that began as a joyrider's need for speed. Every available officer has been called in to stop the Lamborghini Diablo, and it looks like the sheer number of officers out here is about to end this chase. Wait, the joyrider is going over the roadblock. Whoa. This is unbelievable.
Stick 'em up!
Yes, it's going to be a long night for law enforcement. Need for Speed 3. Hot Pursuit.
Hey!
What sense is most strongly tied to nostalgia for you? For me, it's sound. Sound. Now, video game music and sound design is unique. It has a specific context and a specific purpose. Hearing the works of the brilliant video game composers and sound designers, the response is visceral. I know what the soundtrack to a duck bouncing a pogo stick on the moon is, and I'll bet some of you do too. We hear a timeless video game tune, and while the minutia may differ, we're visualizing the same game, level, boss. That's shared nostalgia. Baby, that's beautiful.
Do you guys believe in voodoo magic?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Voodoo is something that will only work if you believe in it.
Do you guys believe in voodoo magic? Definitely.
I don't think we'd be here if it wasn't for voodoo magic.
Do you have a voodoo doll? No. Do you wish you did? Yes. Of who? I don't think I'll say that. Okay.
Recently, I was invited to Crystal Dynamics, and I got to meet two beautiful women. And we talked about their new game, I'm here at Crystal Dynamics with Stephanie and Jessica, and we're here talking about a new game.
Yo, buddy.
Oh,
Sam, remember?
and Sam.
Yeah,
Sam,
good to see you.
the producer of the game.
Thank you.
Right.
What we're trying to get you to pay attention to here, Tommy, is Akuji the Heartless. Akuji is a practitioner of voodoo, and he's all set to get married to this beautiful woman, Kisho. And Akuji's brother, who can't stand the fact that two rivaling clans of voodoo are uniting on a day, comes and rips Akuji's heart out right in the middle of the ceremony.
I hate when that happens.
I hate it when that happens, thus banishing Akuji to the underworld. And it is here in this underworld that Akuji must fight his way through, using his voodoo power and his hand-to-hand combat ability to fight these evil zombies and cultists and demons. Akuji will progress through 12 huge worlds, all set with these gorgeous lighting schemes, with vertex morphing, vertex lighting. We'll send him into bonus, sometimes combat rooms, sometimes shooting gallery type rooms.
Now, one of the cool things that I noticed in this is that it's very fast. You're not struggling to go places.
No.
Is this using the Gex engine?
Use the Gex engine as sort of a springboard for us. Faster frame rates. We can't have the user getting bogged down with frame rate, or he'll just put the controller down and go play something else. So lots of fighting, lots of shooting.
Lots of decapitation.
Well, you know, this is a bit of a macabre game. This isn't your kiddie adventure, let me tell you.
Now, I see a lot of bones on the floor and stuff. Can you actually pick up the bones and beat the guy senseless with it?
Well, we're not planning to make this caveman game.
So what does the name Kuji actually mean?
It means man with twins.
The Ultima series has always been a huge success. Well, now they're moving into 3D. Get ready for Ultima Ascension.
Electric Playgrounds here in Austin, Texas. We're in Origin, and this is the Hamster Trail. I'm with Ed Del Castillo, who's the producer of Ultima Ascension. How you doing? This is the latest version of the Ultima series.
Definitely,
Yeah.
but it's more than that. It's actually the first 3D Ultima we've ever done. It's a completely new experience from the top down. We have a world that you actually really feel like you're part of, the avatar kind of right in front of you.
All the previous Ultimas have been in 2D top-down bitmap graphics. With the advent of 3D hardware, I can get the polygon count that I need to do the high-end presentation as well as the detailed interactivity that I need in an Ultima.
We're trying to strip away a lot of the things that made RPGs clumsy in the past. And we're getting right down to the core emotional feeling, you know, of coming around that corner and seeing that monster and just, you know, fighting your first impulse to run. Instead, you know, whipping out your sword and fighting him.
How is the control going to be different for this game? Obviously, it's in 3D space.
You're really controlling a camera behind the avatar, so you're going to be able to like look around on the fly and see the world. Takes what has classically been some of the learning curve and some of the difficulty out of RPGs and gets back to the fun.
Role-playing games in general, and especially Ultimas, usually have a pretty high barrier to entry, including my most recent release, Ultima Online. Day one, you have to learn about 40 skills and what they mean. Terribly intimidating, even if you already know role-playing games.
Right.
Once you know a spell, you might be able to learn 2 or 3 more, or go back and learn how to use that sword.
Right.
And so you can evolve the skills of your character as you wish, as you play the game.
It's going to lead you to the final battle of the series with the Guardian.
How did you guys manage to get this 3D world together? What is the technology that you guys are using?
Spit and baling wire? No, they just learned it from the ground up. You know, a lot of this industry is self-taught.
Yeah.
And I think as a result, you have a lot of people who really know the guts of the game and really know how to do 3D. And now we're really happy with our coding staff, and you know, I think it's going to be really good. We got a really fast game. They're the ultimate dragons out there, and we totally didn't want to lose them. We're really sensitive to the fact that they you know, are really sensitive to issues like gameplay and depth and the scope of the game. You know, they don't want something that they can burn through in a weekend. And we're going to do our best, you know, to give them that does away with all the stuff that you hated about fantasy and just gets back to the fun.
That's great. That sounds like fun. Nice to meet you, Ed.
Thanks.
Bye, Mom.
There we go. You don't understand. It's after us. It's big. It's got huge teeth, a big beak, bulgy eyes, feathers, fur everywhere.
Yeah, and pigs can fly.
No, bears can fly. Bad guys beware. Here comes Banjo-Kazooie. We're your both bird and bear with amazing powers. There's never been anything like this head-banging, sky-flying, rock-hopping, egg-shooting, tag-teaming duo. Banjo-Kazooie, only for Nintendo.
We had a chance to talk to Ron Gilbert about his success with Total Annihilation. We are here with Ron Gilbert, the founder of Cavedog Entertainment. Total Annihilation, the best game ever of all time? Wow.
We were thrilled by that one.
How many people are working at Cavedog now? I mean, I'm seeing all these titles.
There's probably just under 100 people there now.
So in 1996 you formed Cavedog. What was the inspiration?
I really wanted to create a place where some of the best designers, programmers, and artists could come and really take their visions and make them real. That they could, you know, if they had an idea and they wanted to do something great, this was the place to do it.
Battle Tactics, what exactly is it?
Battle Tactics is an expansion pack for Total Annihilation. It's 100 quick and easy missions. You know, Total Annihilation is a big game, and sometimes it can suck you down for 4 or 5 hours. Or days. But maybe you just want to go in and play quickly. We created 100 missions that are just real quick in and out missions to play.
Been a real movement towards multiplayer contests and online play, and Total Annihilation has that built into it.
There's nothing more challenging than a real human being sitting at the other end. I mean, you could spend years writing computer AI and it is not going to play like a person. There's a certain social interaction that goes on when people are playing each other, and I could look at things like Monopoly. Those are really just catalysts for people to get together. What they really care about is getting a bunch of people together to have fun. And I think the computer games, as you get the multiplayer stuff, you'll start to see some of that. It's an excuse for a bunch of friends to get together and have a lot of fun.
Hi, I'm here with Clayton.
Hi, the Tiger.
From Cavedog. Tell us a little bit about this new title, Kingdoms.
Kingdoms is the next title in the Total Annihilation franchise. And what we're looking at is a fantasy-themed RTS game. You know, castles, knights, catapults, demons, you know, zombies, all that kind of stuff.
So how does this game warrant getting the Total Annihilation name if it's a fantasy-based game?
Well, we're using a lot of the existing technology base from Total Annihilation. We want to put a little more meat on its bones, so that's where we thought a nice big theme with an epic story, 4 sides,
cards and graphics accelerators. What do you think of all of this technology that's coming out now?
Well, any hardware that can help, makes our job easier, because people want a very rich graphic experience. I mean, they're used to movies, they're used to television, they're used to action and speed and all this. And the more hardware we have to help us out to give the people what they want, the better.
Hey, we're at Origin Systems here in Austin, Texas. I'm standing with Andy Hollis, who is one of the co-founders of the Jane's Combat Simulations brand. Great to meet you, Andy.
Likewise.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys got Jane's off the ground, so to speak.
Everybody wants to be sort of the kind of Tom Cruise, Top Gun thing, and being able to put them in that situation, doing the same kinds of decision-making that a real pilot would have in the face of disaster or whatever. Just a really compelling situation, and a natural for a computer game.
I'm in the Jane's booth here with Colonel Bud Anderson, who is the consultant on Fighter Legends Europe 1944. How are you, Colonel?
Hey, I'm doing good today.
So what do you think of these computer simulations? Are you amazed by what these guys are able to do with computers?
It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, the big change is the graphics. They're remarkable.
Is it difficult to balance the simulation aspects of a game and the action gameplay elements of a game?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is. There's a lot of things about flying that are no fun. People liken jet combat to hours of boredom with
moments of terror.
Are the missions that are in the game, were you in any of those missions in real life?
There'll be escort missions in there and ground support missions and things like that. And is it going to be a specific mission? I can't tell you that right now.
Why did you guys choose the F-15 as the plane to cover instead of the F-22?
Right. Well, the F-22 is not yet in production. We're always looking for the ultimate in realism, and in order to do that, you have to have access to the operator manuals. You have to have access to the real aircraft. We like to have a combat history to see how the aircraft really performs, not just how it might perform.
I understand you're a friend of Chuck Yeager.
Chuck and I go back to the spring of 1943 when I was selected as a flight leader to be a member of a new fighter group that was training as a unit and go overseas and fly combat. Chuck came in as one of our first pilots to join us so that we'd train. So I was about 6 months ahead of him out of flying school.
Wow.
And we were the experts.
How many missions are in this game, and where do you go while you're cruising around out there?
This game has hundreds of missions, and they're set in a couple of main areas, mostly in the Middle East. We simulate over 3 million square miles of the Middle East terrain. We have a campaign that's set in Iran. It is set in the year 2002. It's a hypothetical campaign. We also let you relive the whole Desert Storm experience, from the early days of Desert Shield, the build-up, through into the first night, and all the way through to the ground war. The terrain data set we use is all built off of real data. All the cities in the right places, the roads are in the right places. We even put the buildings in the right places based off of tourist maps and things we got of like Baghdad. So the presidential palace is right there, and you can go in there and blow it up if you want.
Who's the best pilot you ever saw?
Well, Chuck Yeager would be would certainly be right up there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
I'm sure he'd say the same thing about you.
Yeah.
Is this all strict realism, or is there any sort of goofy stuff in the game as well?
Mostly it's realistic, but there's a few things we like to throw in there kind of lighthearted. So, for example, the camels. There's a lot of camels out there in the desert areas, and if you just happen to strafe one, they sort of seem to be filled with gasoline and they blow up in huge explosions and stuff like that.
They might be carrying gasoline.
Yeah, that's it. They're carrying gasoline.
That's right.
That's it. Right.
Thanks, Andy.
You bet.
Great to meet you.
Likewise. Thanks.
Andy.
You may remember Capcom for such great hits as Street Fighter and Mega Man. Well, now they're back with Marvel vs. Capcom. This week we've got a great tip for you. You know Mega Man, but you may not know his sister, Roll. To control Roll, highlight Zangief at the character selection screen. Push left, left, down, down, right, right, down, down, left, left, up, right, right. The little blonde will be controllable, and you'll be good to go. Have fun.
Hey, it's time for the Tekken 3 move of the week. This week we've got a multi-hit combo from Dr. Vaskanovich. You ready? It's forward plus left punch. Right kick, left kick, left kick, left kick. Right punch, left punch. You gotta do it all much faster than that, of course.
Today on the Simpatico Question of the Week, Steve Kahn from Victoria, British Columbia asks, what's going to keep all these 3D action-adventure games from looking the same?
The experience of interacting with the other characters in the game is what's going to make the next wave of 3D games exciting. It's not enough anymore to have pretty scenery and cool-looking characters. They're going to have personality, and they're going to have to be smart. And you're not going to get away with running through levels and taking one shot and taking out everything, or just avoiding enemies. They're going to have to engage you. One of the things we've focused on is we've set programmers down and said, you guys are solely in charge of making these enemies fun, making them difficult, making them smart, making them behave like you would see an enemy behave in the real world, giving life to these characters so they're not just cannon fodder for the player.
To send us your questions, stop by the EP website at www.electplay.com.
You don't understand. It's after us. It's big. It's got huge teeth, a big beak, bulgy eyes, feathers, fur everywhere.
Yeah, and pigs can fly.
No, bears can fly. Bad guys beware. Here comes Banjo-Kazooie, where you're both bird and bear with amazing powers. There's never been anything like this head-banging, sky-flying, rock-hopping, egg-shooting, tag-teaming duo. Banjo-Kazooie, only for Nintendo.
Lee here with a few reasons why you should be shopping at P&P Games. The selection, everything from retro favorites to contemporary hits. The shipping, free on orders of $65 Canadian or more within Canada and the USA, and we also ship overseas. The stickers, when you spend $65 or more, you get a limited edition sticker based on our silly nonsense. Locals can check out our retail stores in Winnipeg, but for everyone else, we're at pnpgamesonline.com. Support us as we support the Electric Playground Classic. No, that's a good sticker.
Where is this place, man?
This is it, right here. What do you think about Forsaken for the PC, PlayStation, Nintendo 64?
Now, Forsaken on the PC, first of all, has amazing graphics.
Once again,
backgrounds.
Best version of the games on the PC. It's more difficult, I found, on the PlayStation, mostly because the speed and the control is insane. It's even with the dual analog. Well, even with the analog, I found it really difficult.
So the N64, they changed the storyline and everything.
Like
they toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier.
Free the Earth from the malevolent dominion of the machines.
But it was still fun. Great multiplayer on the N64.
That's the thing
Very
on the multiplayer on the N64.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you get this almost GoldenEye feel to it.
But no drop in frame rate. It's really, really smooth.
Here's one of the problems that I had with the game is that there's really no map. You just get totally lost, and it's just, I'll tell you what, this is a very, extremely hard game to play.
It's almost impossible to do a 3D map like that, though.
It must be. They have to figure out something, some kind of transparent 3D thing. But the best version, I thought, was the PC.
Yep. What would you give the PC version?
The PC version is an 8.7.
I'd give it an 8 out of 10, a solid 8. The N64 version, probably 7.5 out of 10. I thought it's a solid game, definitely worth picking up if you like first-person shooters.
I give it a 7, straight 7.
7 out of 10?
Yeah.
All right, what about the PlayStation version?
The PlayStation version, I also give a 7 to it.
I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. People that like those kinds of games should rent it on the PlayStation.
Gran Turismo on the PlayStation.
Best racing game ever made. 10 out of 10. Awesome.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10.
Huh.
Now, I don't think there's anything on any system that can touch this game
The intro is amazing.
Just the complete package. It's just one of those games that you will sit down and lose yourself in.
Rotate around. When you're just picking the cars, and you can see the way the light reflect. The best part of this game is the reflection.
You can tell that the guys that made this just love racing.
It's almost like a Quest RPG
It's a role-playing game for racing.
It's awesome.
There's just so much stuff in this thing, man. You go through these different sort of series of races, and you win money and you win cars. They give you like bonus cars. You just keep getting better and better. You've got to get your license. You can paint them. You can totally customize them.
We had problems getting our license the first couple.
Oh yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough tough game.
The one thing I think they could improve a little bit on Gran Turismo is the controls are almost too realistic, and you got to get used to them, and, and that's cool. I'm just.
But it really depends. I mean, there's 150 different cars to play with, so you'll find one that feels comfortable.
I love that arcadey Ridge Racer type control, but Gran Turismo is a great game. The graphics is the most amazing graphics I've ever seen on any driving game, including the arcade.
The first game that these guys did for the PlayStation was Motor 2 Grand Prix.
Really?
And that game was just loaded with secrets, and it had endless playability. This game is like 10 times that. 10 out of 10. Gran Turismo, 10 out of 10. It's tough to beat this sucker.
9.7 for me.
What did you think of Hot Shots Golf for the Sony PlayStation?
Now here's a game that's fun to play.
Yeah.
It's total, a Japanese style game. You got the big-headed people.
I don't get golf.
Really?
But I had a lot of fun playing this game. I really like.
It's not as great as like a PGA Tour 98. It's not as good of a golf game as that, but it's fun to play. It's
a great change of pace from all these action titles and Kill 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 and all these other games that we've been talking about. This is a golf game for everybody. This is a golf game that golf freaks can play with people that don't play any golf at all.
Simple to pick up. Again, it's a Japanese game. It falls a little short on presentation, and the sound effects are, and the music is.
But again, there's tons of secret characters. There's new courses that you can win.
They made it fun. It's almost like
you get experience points, so it's almost like a golf RPG a little bit. I give the game about an 8.5. What would you give it to?
I'm also in there at 8.5.
Yeah, I think it's a great game.
Cool.
Oh, here comes our ride.
Whoa. Go! Well, the show's over, but our website is open 24 hours a day. So make sure you check out www.elecplay.com.
Production assistance for the Electric Playground is provided by Nintendo, makers of 1080 Snowboarding. Heat.net, makers of NetFighter. Electronic Arts, makers of Need for Speed 3. Namco, makers of Tekken 3. To subscribe to Tips and Tricks, call 1-800-621-8977.
This classic episode of The Electric Playground was brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support The Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.